Hello, everyone. My name is Sneer Rozenfeld, and I'm the CEO of Cyber 2.0. We will have a great webinar today speaking about the risks at cyber that we have seen in Cyber 2.0. We will speak about various new cyber attacks that we have encountered, and we will explore them. And of course, we will explore technology, solutions, and other trends. Before we begin, I would like to thank, first of all, my VP Sales, Ms. Jana Heffer-Vir, for working very hard to getting this webinar on the road, for getting it started. Thank you so much. I would like to thank the VP Business Development from the US, Mr. Guy Tesler. He's with us today also, and he's been working very hard to get this webinar on. Thank you, dear Guy. And thank you, Tanya Sarel, the Chief Operation Officer in Cyber 2.0, for getting the presentation and everything in order for us to get this thing started. So let's get this started and let's start exploring the reason that we've come here today, and we've come to speak about recent cyber attacks at the cyber world, new trends, and what's going on. The session today will be divided to three sections. The first section, I will be exploring cyber attacks within numerous regions. What did we see? What did we encounter, and how to address them? In the second section, Erez Kaplan, our CTO, the Chief Technology Officer of Cyber 2.0, will be giving you a technological brief of the Cyber 2.0 solution. And the third part, well, it's up to you. The third part, we'll open the mics and let everyone ask questions and have an open conversation. We will be able to answer your questions and explore whatever thing that bothers you. All right. So Albert Einstein used to say, if you keep doing the same things, you will always get the same results. Albert Einstein used to say that, and this is something that we live by in Cyber 2.0 as a motto for us to keep changing things and to try again to get things sorted up and working, how to do it differently, how to do it better. Now, at Cyber 2.0, we've seen at 2024 a huge rise at the global surge in cyber attacks. We've seen a huge rise at cyber attacks in various places. First of all, we are in Israel, and we've seen a huge multiply by 3 times rise in the cyber attacks that we've seen in 2023 that is coming up. It's mainly due to iron swords and the war we are currently holding on 7 fronts. We'll speak about today about the 8th front, the cyber front, where we are getting attacked and how we are protecting it. Also, the ongoing conflict in Russia and Ukraine gets a lot of cyber attacks coming out of there, and we are exploring various things coming in. But before we dive into the cyber world and to the recent attacks, let's explore a little bit about what happened and where we are today. Back in the day, like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, well, the world was much more simpler. You used to come to the office, punch in your card, say hello to the secretary, say hello to the guys at the front desk, and everybody was happy. You had a computer, you had a printer, you had a calculator, you had a typing machine, you had a scanner, you had so many things going on, and you had a device for everything. Communications were verbal. You didn't have to work from home, and you didn't have to work from anywhere else besides coming to the company, working within the office, and going back. Now, this was very ideal. This was very interesting to work, and it was very simple and easy to protect. But in the last 20, 30 years, we went through a digital transformation, and everything changed. We got into the new industry, and in the new industry, people are working from home, and people are working from their restaurants, and they're working from Wix, and they're bringing their own devices, and they're bringing their own networks, and they're bringing their own applications. They're working from various locations, and we cannot control them. We have so many things broadcasting today. We have computers, we have cell phones, we have connectors. Everything is smart, everything is connecting, and everything is transmitting data over the web, so we can better manage everything, and everything is so smart, and so many networks are connecting with different components within different networks. And this is the real problem as we see it. The world today is divided from past to present, and the past was a physical world, and today we live in a virtual world. The virtual world was developed and engulfed around us, and we've seen a lot of things changing and a lot of things coming up in the recent years. Now let's explore the changes and the differences between the physical and virtual world. At the physical world, my name is Sneer Rozenfeld, and I'm the CEO of Cyber 2.0. At the virtual world, I can be whoever I want to. I can be a 14-year-old teenager from Kentucky. I can be a Tibetan monk from Tibet. I can be whoever I choose to be, and you cannot identify or see who I am. At the physical world, I rely on all my senses, on my eyes, on my ears, on my taste, my touch. Everything I rely on all my senses. At the virtual world, I rely only on my eyes. I can't even hear all the time what people are saying because everything is transparent through the eyes. So basically, I'm blind 80% of the time. At the physical world, I rely on armies, how many missiles I got, how many tanks, how many soldiers, how many things I got. At the virtual world, one hacker can drive a whole country crazy. And this is changing all the rules of engagement. This is changing all the world in front of us. And we need to understand that the virtual world is out there. It's alive. At the physical world, there's daylight and there's night. I go to sleep at night. I come to work in the morning. At the virtual world over the web, there is no night. There is no day. It's a place that works 24/7 with bots, not even persons, that are going over and over and trying to do whatever they can to penetrate our organization. It's a new world with new rules when we reach the virtual world. And we need to adapt ourselves and adapt our companies and the way we protect things in order for us to be ready to face this challenge. Now, we must understand that every smart thing is a target. Every device that we plug into the network, every new innovation that we embrace and we want to make things better and want to enhance technology and we want to make our businesses faster and working better and working in various ways, everything smart, well, basically it's also a target. It is also serves as a target for hackers that can penetrate our organizations. Now, there are many, many forms of attacks, as we've seen in recent years. A lot of attacks are coming up and changing. Smart attacks using known weaknesses, brute forces, multiple hackers, and we'll speak about multiple hackers. Shadow IT, what happens in Shadow IT? Shadow IT, well, it's very, very interesting. Shadow IT, basically, it's bring your own application. What happens when employees are working from home on their own devices, and you don't know all the time which applications they are using, and they can use whatever application they want to. Sometimes even applications that are not approved to use network resources according to the company's policy. Now, AI is here as well. Now, AI has presented a great opportunity for everyone. It presented a great opportunity to do a lot of amazing things in AI, but it also presented a great new threat because hackers embraced AI very, very fast, and they are doing so much interesting things with AI. They can increase virus attacks. They can increase number of attacks. They have a lot of new attacks using based on AI. They have open AI, which is designed for hackers, for criminals. And it's very, very interesting, and it's a whole new world, and there are whole new attacks. And we have to start embracing new tools for these sort of attacks. We need to start thinking differently, and we need to start embracing new technologies to protect our critical assets, to protect our computers, to protect our clouds, to protect everything that goes through our network. Now, we'll discuss today about how Cyber 2.0 can assist you in preventing attacks. We will discuss about the chaos engine. We will speak about protection for IT, OT, and IoT, how we embrace zero trust technology, and how we embrace in Cyber 2.0 what we like to call double zero trust technology. Now, in Cyber 2.0, basically, our technology is quite unique. We have an agent, we have multiple things, and what we do is we do active mapping of everything that goes through the network. When we install the Cyber 2.0, first of all, we do monitoring. We do mapping of everything that goes through your network. Everything that comes up, every process that loads, every DLL, every file that comes up, we record it. But we're not just recording it. When a file comes up, when a process comes up to the memory, we also take their MD5, their SHA signature, and their size to do the basic detection, as everybody knows it. Now, every access of one process to another process is also recorded. Now, just by using the monitor mode, just by using our reverse tracking, we are able to find a lot of interesting things. And I'm going to share with you now some of the things that we've seen in recent attacks. Now, there was a very interesting attacks using the Roblox. First of all, it's about the games. Everybody likes games, everybody plays games. So let's speak about attacks using the Roblox developers. Attackers forge a code package that were presented as part of a well-known library in Roblox. A lot of things, a lot of people installed it, and then we had a problem. Erez, time to open your mic and start explaining everything that goes. Please, Erez, what do you want to say about the Roblox attack?
It's a very nice game, very extremely, let's say, popular among kids mainly. And a lot of time it was installed on their parents' computer, especially small children. And they were susceptible to installing like a lot of new free stuff that allows them to. Sneer, can you mute everyone
Yes,
up?
yes, yes, continue.
Thank you. Okay, and so a lot of other stuff, they were susceptible to a lot of influence. And when they were told that they can install something new that will give them an added value, this is part of the advantage of Roblox. We install a lot of external items, application stuff. Same thing goes to Minecraft as well, same concept. So they install something, it gave them something, a new skin, a new ability, a new look, but it also installed something malicious inside the computer. It allowed the hackers to infiltrate to their system and doing a variety of things, mainly stealing credential and other stuff. And if it was a parental computer and then went into the organization, the damage was even more robust. It's a very common type of attack to target children, to steal credit card information, from phishing scam to Minecraft to Roblox. Same concept goes. The child, sometimes the grown-up, installed a free package that gave him something free, and that's it. With it come
Só aproveitando,
Thank you, Sneer. You're up.
All right. Thank you so much. It's very, very interesting seeing those attacks. First of all, they come to the games, and people will be surprised at how many games we're able to see all the time within our customers. I have customers that I'm basically sending them alerts about every new games that are being installed. Let's move on to the next attack. Well, the next attack is one of my favorites. It's very, very interesting, and I've seen it happening many, many times. It's a fake job interview or a fake newspaper interview. It's very, very interesting. Well, hackers have learned that the weak link in the chain is the human factor. You cannot control the human factor. Now, hackers do a lot of things and they are very, very, very creative in the way they access and how much they're willing to invest in order for them to hack an organization. Basically, this attack is very, very interesting. They reach an employee and they tell him, "Hello, mister. We've went through your LinkedIn profile and we found you a match for your dream job." And they're giving him a proposition for a job, and they're inviting him for a job interview, and then sending him a link to do the job interview. And the employee is very excited, he's very happy about it, and he's coming on to the interview. And when he's coming on the other side, the hacker waits for him and he's interviewing him for a job, which does not exist, of course. And he's interviewing him for a job. And it's very, very interesting because while he's interviewing him for a job, the victim, the job seeker, basically download and run a malicious JavaScript project. Basically, the result is very, very simple. Through the job interview, you get a malicious software installed called Beavertail. And this Beavertail install a Python-based backdoor called Invisible Ferret. And from there, yeah, the hacker has done whatever he needs to. The main idea is very, very simple, is to get the invisible ferret inside. And once they get that, they are able afterwards to do whatever they want to. The employee get a message after 1 or 2 weeks. "Thank you so much. We found you inadequate for the job. We took somebody else," and so on. The same thing applies to when they go up the ladder, when they go to the CTOs, to the VP sales, when they go to recent and more in the ladder of personnel, and they tell them, "Hello, mister, we found you as a leader in the technical world. We like to interview you for the whatever business chronicle or technology expert, and we would like to have your opinion on this and that. Now, again, they're playing on the pride and they're playing on everybody's, and they're inviting them for an interview. And everybody wants to be interviewed for a paper, and everybody wants to be acknowledged as an expert. Everybody wants to say what they have to say and wants to be heard. And this is where they exactly play on. And when they're holding their job or the paper or the interview, well, basically they give you the invisible ferret, and from there on, you lose everything. Erez, you want to add anything to that?
Yes, thank you, Sneer. What Sneer has described is becoming a regular epidemic. What you are seeing is how ingenious the hackers can be in order to enter into your personal data. Real people will communicate with you, will offer. It can vary from fixing your computers because we found something and we are from Microsoft, happens, to job interview, to various other offers. Everything looks legit. You speak with a real life person, and in the end, you get something installed on your computer, or while you're doing the job interview, someone goes throughout your files, network, steal your password, do whatever he wants to do while someone else is speaking with you. And for an hour job interview, you lose half of your bank account, if not more. This is a very sophisticated type of attack, and we see more and more of this attack rise. This is, let's say, the new Danish prince that you owe money, that he owes you money or want to give you money, or that you are his next of kin. This is the next step.
Thank you. The next attack is also very, very interesting, something that we've encountered, and we had to speak about it because it's very, very robust. The Rambo attack. Erez, I will give you this fully, since you exploded so much. Please take it from me.
Thank you. And this type of attack is actually was concocted in the mind of a researcher. It's a very sophisticated type of attack and designed to extract information from location that you don't have access to, but you manage to install something on it. So how do you get information from a computer which is air-gapped and not connected to the network? One of the methods that they figured was this one. You install something that causes spikes of electromagnetism to be issued from the CPU. It sounds sci-fi and robust, but the information and the spikes are simply have to be in Morse code or something extremely similar. There is a device that detects the spikes. The spikes can be because of network usage, memory usage. It's easy to create the spikes. They are extremely, extremely small and very hard to detect, but with the right equipment, you can detect them. And precisely like Morse code or 0, 1 in binary, you get the information, you get the word, you can copy entire files, structures, information, files, everything that you want to do with an attack that basically is connected in an air-gapped network. Of course, this is a robust attack. You need very sophisticated equipment just to get the information. And eventually it's a virus, treated like a virus, detected like a virus, it has its own signature, and the anomaly and the behavior that it does to the computer will be easily detected if you have the right tools. For example, Cyber 2.0 will not detect the EM emissions, no one will, but it will detect the anomaly that causes them. The application that causes them will be flagged immediately as unknown and unwanted, and that will be that. But the sophistication of this attack give us a windows to see how many type of attack and how ingenious hackers can be in order to steal information. The similar type of attack which has more potential to work, but this is the last one in that line and it was extremely interesting to follow.
Well, thank you so much for clearing that up, Erez. So let's speak a little bit and go back to it. Albert Einstein used to say, if we keep doing the same things, we'll always get the same results. And this is where we started, and this is where I want to end this part of the session. And the main idea is very, very simple. We cannot rely on our old tools to do the job anymore. Hackers know the old tools. They know all the defense systems that have been there for many years. They know the weaknesses. They know the big vendors, and they know how to exploit them. We cannot rely on the same tools. And if we don't start changing the way we think, and we don't start embracing and adopting new technologies, we know what the results are, and the results are eventually will be hacked. And it's not a question of if, but a question of when. And we have to change. We have to change the way we think. We have to change the way we protect our critical assets. We have to change the way we protect our employees from attacks. And this is the main idea that we want to speak here about. The next session, Erez will be giving you a big brief about how we're doing it differently, how we are using technology to differently protect your organizations, how we are using the Cyber 2.0, and exactly what you can do in order for you to better protect your organization. So I would like to thank you for the first session, and I would like to thank you for joining us. And Erez, you take it from here now.
Thank you so very much. Let me share my screen. Second. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Open the presentation.
No, Erez, we see it. Okay, change the video.
Okay. Now we see the presentation. Okay, let me explain to you how Cyber 2.0 enters the field and give you the so much needed added protection that current EDR and XDR cannot give because they are based on old assumptions. And all assumptions are EDR and XDR. Why we are calling ourselves beyond EDR? One of the main problems that we have in current cyber defenses is extremely simple. The hackers are always one step ahead of us. If someone will write the next virus, and that virus was designed to bypass known methodology, known behavior analysis tool, it uses vulnerability that no one heard about, uses new type of stealth modulation, does things that are not still there. Statistics says that such a virus will take for brand-of-the-art, state-of-the-art EDR and XDR system half a month to detect. Until they will detect everything that it does, the damage will be done and the next attack will be on its way. Of course, once it is already attacked in several organizations, everyone will know how to detect it and how to mitigate it, and let's say a cure will be applied, but by then there will be another one and another one and another one. The sad fact is that more and more organizations get hacked every day in a geometrical, almost statistical way. And the hackers are not one step ahead, but two or sometimes three, because the EDR and XDR struggle to find the anomalies in the behavior analysis, and they're using signature-based detection because these are the tools that are at their disposal, and they lack, sadly. We see it every day. We see it every hour, even sometimes, as hacking being gun and gun. Cyber 2.0, on the other hand, acts differently. Once we are deployed in defense mode, the following thing will happen. Let's take the same virus that was written for the discussion an hour ago. And let's assume that this virus cannot be detected because it uses all the new vulnerability that there are. And then let's say that it's managed to get full domain admin privileges in one of the computers where he arrived because users are users and they're pressing phishing links and there are vulnerabilities and such. Such a virus will spread through your network, encrypt your files, steal your information, and there is nothing that can be done about it unless your EDR and antivirus will eventually detect it. By then again, it will be too late. If Cyber 2.0 is deployed in defense mode in that organization, we will not be able to detect the virus faster than the other. We have very good detection and behavior tools, but what will happen that it will be stopped on the first computer without Cyber 2.0 needing to detect it at all. Even if it has full domain admin privileges, even if the user is opening file right now from shared folders, the virus will not be able to mitigate, to spread, to encrypt, to steal information from the network. It will stay lockdown in the first computer where it arrived. And that's what Cyber 2.0 brings to the table, the ability to stop and mitigate cyber attacks, the spreading of them, and the damage that comes with them. The question is how we are doing it. And that's what I'm here to explain. As I said, the main damage is the spreading of cyber attack across the organization. We speak about EDR and such. And the main problem is the detection phase. You don't have 100% detection. Therefore, you don't have 100% prevention. And when I mean 100% detection, from 100,000 attacks, that in a large organization, something that can happen in the span of a day, sometime a week. It's enough that one will bypass the defenses. Just one from 100,000, and the damage will be done. You don't need 10, you don't need 100, you don't need 1,000, just one out of each, even 100,000. Once it is there, there is no way of detecting it unless it strikes, and you'll be surprised how much organizations are infected without their knowing that they are infected. Sometimes the malicious software simply sits and steals information quietly. Sometimes it's still password and bank accounts. Sometimes it strikes like a ransomware, which are the attack that everyone knows. But it is enough that one attack will bypass all your defenses, and since you don't have 100% detection, you will never have 100% prevention. And once an attack passes your first defense, it will start disabling or doing or disturbing or disrupting your current cyber defenses, making it even harder to detect it using conventional methodology.
More, I would like to add that we call ourselves beyond EDR. And what is beyond EDR? Well, EDR by definition means endpoint detect and response. The problem in the EDR system is very, very simple. You are completely relied on detection before you're even trying to preventing something. And various companies do it in various ways. They can do anomaly detection. They can do behavior analysis. They can do deep packet inspection. They can do a lot of interesting things to try to detect. But the main problem is they rely on detection. And if they fail the detection, well, game over. And this is a big problem. And this is, as we said in the beginning, we have to think differently and we have to start adopting new technologies. And this is what we did. When we started addressing the problem in the detection prevention, we understand and we realize that we will never be able to identify all the malicious software. Somewhere, somehow, somebody will fail the detection. And what happens in that case? And in this case, we are using zero trust technology. Basically, it's very, very simple. If we are unable to detect the malicious software, well, very easy. First of all, we will block it, then we will alert the customer, and then we will try to investigate what it is doing. But basically, the first thing we want to do, if there's something new coming and you cannot detect it, first of all, you want it stopped. At the prevention level, we build our system in a way that even if a hacker removes me, we continue protecting the network. We understand that hackers will be able to uninstall, remove Cyber 2.0 software from an infected computer. In order for us to address that situation, we need to understand and again think differently. What happens if he removes me? We build our system in a way that even if they remove us, even if they change something, they will not be able to move through the network, and we will continue protecting the network. We are using chaos algorithm to do cyber defense, and this is where Erez will explain a little bit more about the chaos algorithm.
Thank you, Sneer. And as Sneer so lovely put it, we don't rely on detection. We have something completely different for the prevention methodology, something new and unique to us, and that allow us to give you that protection against the unknown, the truly unknown. Let's speak a bit about the chaos model and why we are so different. Most current cyber defenses, if not all of them, use a biological-based model in order to defend their network and use this algorithm from the anomaly to the behavior analysis to the antivirus itself, and so on and so forth. This model, whether we want it or not, are based on similar models that were designed by Mother Nature for billions of years, extremely effective and extremely powerful. But the hacking methodology that bypasses them uses the same models that designed to bypass that specifically model, from the first viruses that spread automatically, then the one that can hide inside a program and exploit payloads and such, all of them are based on what is designed to bypass the model that we are using for defense. That's for the hacker are always one step ahead. But Cyber 2.0 uses a brand new Cyber 2.0 uses a brand new mathematical chaos models. If you apply the chaos model into a biological model, it will collapse. But it is neutral to the computer. Therefore, it's easy to deploy, doesn't hamper the behavior, and it's chaos. Currently, it can be breached, not even by us, because the mathematics is mathematics. Chaos is chaos. Naturally, it is protected by name patents. In order to prove our worth, we did several hacking challenges over the years with a price of $100,000. The challenges were made in Israel, in the United States, and over the internet, where we simulated various environments, gave the hacker the full admin password and privileges to the network. And in order to get the $100,000, all they had to do was get one file from a file server in a protected network, where they have all the password, they can access all the computers that they want, and the only thing that protected it was us. During the challenge, they can look at the protected computer, where there were 4 normal computers and 1 server and 1 DHCP, to see what the attacks are doing to them. Each challenge took 6 hours. Each challenge, no one was able to win the prize or even get into the first line of the first computers. It was very interesting to see. They put it in, I think, in the United States on CBS. They made a report about it. We were extremely proud. And in the internet challenge, we mimic a mistake that was done by the system engineer, that it connected one of the server to the DMZ by mistake. And also, of course, we gave them the password and username of every computer in the network, while we use a vortex to protect the computer that was exposed. Again, even in the internet challenge, where thousands of hackers came, everyone failed to hack into our system. Yeah, sorry. We are among our customers. You can find ports, waters, armies, industries, hospital, airports, everything that you want to do. But let's skip to the technical bit. I will speak a bit about this one, then we will later delve deep into it. What we are doing is similar to whitelisting, but completely different and a lot more easy. Basically, we map all the activities inside the organization. We map all the process, sub-process, everything that is running inside the computer. We create a sort of a dynamic trust list that can be modified on the spot and use automation tools. And using that mapping, after we map the activities of the organization, we move it through the chaos mechanism. The chaos mechanism does the following: detection, as I said, map all the softwares, remove the ones that are truly malicious, remove the unknowns, approve the small ones, and then when we have the list, we go directly into the chaos mechanism, which does the work for us. The chaos mechanism is extremely simple as it is potent. There is the list that we talk about, or the list of allowed application. Once an application that wants to move through the network and is allowed, the agent, which is installed on every computer and server in the network, take the port number that's used by this specific application in this instance, and using chaos-based algorithm, change it into something completely different in that second. So in this scenario, 80 was turned into 10,000. On the other side, there is a reverse algorithm that takes every incoming traffic and scramble it, sorry, and scramble it using a reverse algorithm. So 80, who turns into 10,000, turns back into 80. If you think about the computers, they have no idea that something has changed. In their perspective, they are speaking and communicating with the original ports. Nothing has changed. On that specific computer, there is an unknown, unwanted, unauthorized, malicious take-your-pick software that tries to do precisely the same thing in this computer. So if you use port 80, try to communicate with the other computer, but it is not on our list. So what we are doing is essentially nothing. You are not on our list, we will do nothing. You can do whatever you want to do over the internet, in theory. So port 80 remains port 80, but on the other side, every incoming port gets descrambled by the agent, and it will get descrambled into a garbage port. 80 who remains 80 will get descrambled wrongly. And both 10,000 and 4,800 changes every second, source and destination. So why this scenario is so powerful at mitigating cyber threats? Let's check it out. There are several types of standard attacks or types of attack that can be used by hackers to bypass cybersecurity measures. Bypassing attack, deactivation attack, adding yourself to the trust list of firewalls, for example, and piggyback and various others. Let's explore this for a second. Bypassing attack. Extremely potent, extremely powerful. You can write directly into layer 2, for example, bypassing any firewall and antivirus. You can target the processor directly with the Spectre and Meltdown, for example, but today you've got 15 new vulnerabilities, both for Intel and AMD, that will tell you, that will tell the processor to do whatever the malicious software wants him to do. And for example, you can do what we see mostly in IoT and OT, what we call the Chinese chip attack. It's something embedded on the motherboard or the device itself and acts independently of the computer. Today, you can install an entire computer on a single chip, and it allows the operator to do whatever it wants to do, going undetected, going to the network, scan information, basically another device connected to your network. If Cyber 2.0 is deployed in any of these modes, the following will happen. Any type of bypassing attacks that I've demonstrated and any other will simply go out on the original port. We haven't prevented it in the beginning. We are not trying to prevent it now. But once it gets into the network and it will try to connect to any of the protected devices, usually all the other computers, it will get descrambled and once again will get dropped by the other computers because they can't understand what it's saying. And here you can see the first time why Cyber 2 is so powerful. We know that the first computer is lost. The defense automatically goes to all the other computers around it. So bypassing attacks will always fail. Or either you speak through me or you can't speak at all. Then you've got the disabling attack, something very common. Once I've managed to get a beachhead, go into the first computer because of this or that vulnerability, or some of the attack that Sneer recommended using VET, for example, because someone installed it on Roblox, someone did it from a browser, the various type of famous attack that happens. They will go for your cyber software first, disabling them. If they've got local admin privileges, they have kill command, memory manipulation, and various other types of attack that will allow them to disable your cyber software and safely spread throughout your network. If Cyber 2.0 is deployed, I can't tell you that they can disable me. It's hard. But if they try to spread after they disable me, every communication from that computer will go on the original port and the computer will be effectively locked down from communicating over the network. That's precisely what you want to achieve when someone is tampering with your cyber defenses. The next attack is more complicated one, more powerful one, usually done by sophisticated hackers, either organization or countries, usually done to government or very large companies. The hacker doing reverse engineering to whatever they found on the other side. They've got 50 programmers, 100 programmers. They have whatever it needs. Then they change a DLL here, a DLL there, owning your cyber defenses. It means that your own cyber defenses will either tell you that everything is okay, or will help the attacker spread itself around your network. And by the time you will actually detect them, it will be much, much too late. And by then they will have all your information, either destroy every track of what they did, or destroy your network itself. Happens a lot, sadly, partially, and it will happen a lot in the future. If Cyber 2.0 is deployed, we can say that we are free from reverse engineering, no one is, but we are a chaos-based cyber defense. If the hacker has managed to do a change in us, adding yourself for our trust list, for example, changing one of our DLLs, it will work. You can tell them, and what they want to do will go out scrambled. But the chaos algorithm is based on these things. Any change that you will put to one of these things will change the result of the algorithm. And once again, you will get blocked the second that you try to spread. Not just that, the agent communicates with a central server every minute, sending it information, and it will send the structure, the various other factors about it, and every alarm bell will ring when someone will try to manipulate your agent, automatically blocking it and notifying it. A more powerful attack, more easily. Then there is this type of attack, a chain of command given using legitimate tools that in this scenario tell the output to send an email with an attachment to somewhere undisclosed that always changing over the internet. Extremely problematic to detect. Cyber 2.0 is a unique function, and we discussed about it at the beginning, that does the following. It has several merits, not just for cyber. Every process and sub-process that loads into memory get recorded. We record various information about the process. We generate the hash on the fly of the process. And every time that a process communicates with another process, and unlike other cyber software company, we don't care what it did, allowed, not allowed, inter-process communication, out-of-band injection, memory manipulation, file system access, everything goes. We simply write it down. Process 1 did something to process 2, then to 3, then to 4, then 4 went out into the network. But we don't know what 1 or 2 or 3 is. So the entire chain will be unscribable when it reaches the network, and it will be blocked. So even sophisticated attacks such as this gets blocked by Cyber 2.0. And the second thing that it does is also extremely potent and powerful. It creates an active inventory of everything that was ever active in your network from the moment Cyber 2.0 was installed. And it does so with the hashes. So we have three things coming from it. First of all, the IT can tell you when a new program was detected, founded, and forcibly run on each of your computers. The version and everything. The hashes allow for the cyber personnel to easily detect and use MITRA rules. For example, when you've got a list of hashes, simply put them in a system, and it will tell you if it's in your system, on which computer it was running, and when it was detected. And the third thing is a bit of a surprise, not for us, of course. It allows you to mark a lot of these to being compliant in multiple regulations. The structure of the database is designed to mitigate for a lot of required regulation because we have that information, and that specific database is not sponge. It's forever from the moment we are installed. So we got information that is required for HIPAA, for PCI, for GDPR, for privacy regulation, all there. It can mark a lot of required V's in the most usually problematic areas, and it's extremely potent toward being compliant in multiple regulations. It means that it's good for the IT, good for cyber, good for management because of the regulation. It's a win-win-win, and very important, of course. Important to notify. We do not read the data. We are fully compliant with GDPR ourselves. What does it mean? It means that if someone will open a Word document on a protected network, we can tell you which computer, which user, which application opened the Word document, what is the path of the Word document, what is the path of the application that opened it. But I don't read the Word document. I don't care what is the word inside the Word document. And if that Word document will drop a payload, I will deal with the payload differently. But the information is not for me. Same goes for internet connection, for example. I will know the application that accesses the internet. I will know the user who accesses the internet. I will know source and destination IP, ports. I will know everything beside the information that transpires between the computer and that application, unless that application, of course, will drop a payload. Once it is there, I will deal with it independently, like it was any other software or service. Question regarding the IT, I will let you do in a second. I want to switch to the OT and IoT.
In conclusion of the first section that Erez presented, on the detection level, we are using zero trust technology. On the prevention level, we continue protecting the organization even if a hacker removes it from an infected computer. We are using chaos algorithm to do cyber defense, and we put our system to the public test. We do public hacking challenges where we put our system to the public test. Move on to the OT. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, feel free to write them down in the chat. We will address them at the third part of the presentation. Thank you.
Okay, now let's go to OT and IoT. There is a problem in the new internet world, and the hackers know that problem. They are now targeting IoT devices. OT is operational technology. You can find OT devices in water, energy, large factories. The initially is operational technology, usually found in critical infrastructure. IoT is the Internet of Things. Basically, when you think about it, it's precisely the same things, but connected to the internet and the network, and it can be accessed from anywhere. It's from cameras to switches to doors knobs. Sometimes operational technology is connected to the internet, therefore it gets the IoT initial as well. It can be a thermostat, lights, everything connected to almost everything. And the hackers know this, and the hacker can target it, and the hacker target these devices. OT and IoT devices can go from cyber attack on water system, for example, opening them, flooding them. Sewage consumption is the most critical one, bypassing the sewage, making the sewage overflow, disrupting traffic lights, something that we see in a lot of movies. It happens in real life, usually on a small, very small scale so far, but it can be done on a large scale, disrupting the traffic in an entire city. Damage to energy infrastructure, we've seen it, we are seeing it, we have seen it, and we will see it all over the world. Attack on atomic reactors been done, for example, in Iran. And a very famous attack in IoT was locking rooms in a hotel. They actually access and lock all the doors in a hotel that was active. The guests were locked either in or out, and the hotel was forced to pay because it can replace all the doors, but it will have to break them and will take time. And by this time, let's say replacing 1,000 doors in a hotel when you have 500 guests is extremely problematic. The guests will not be pleased. The doors, everything is problematic here. So they have to pay quickly. And this attack was done several times, not just one, on several types of hotel. Extremely effective, so they need protection from it. Not just to say that in the IoT and OT world, you've got irrigation that you can over-irrigate the fields. You can attack, for example, thermostats of livestock from cows to chickens, killing an entire livestock in a day, for example. Hacker targets the most minute thing that you can think about in IoT to create the most devastating attack. In a chicken pen that has, let's say, thousands of chicken, manipulating the temperature by 2 degrees over the night, if you come in the morning, the entire pen, thousands and thousands of chicken will be dead because of this. This is the type of attacks and hackers that we are dealing with. Extremely sophisticated, extremely dangerous, and they know what they are doing. And I haven't started speaking about medical attacks. They try to attack medical devices and facilities successfully during the epidemic that we had with the COVID. People were killed because of some medical equipment malfunction because of attacks. But let's see how Cyber 2.0 can protect. We discussed EDR is not enough, so I won't revert to that. The same concept goes in OT and IoT, the same challenge. But in the OT, some things are a lot easier. There are a lot less programs. When we deal with water and energy and hospitals, it's extremely easy. There are extremely small amount of software, so it's a lot easier to defend and detect if something tries to bypass us. We authorized only the 1 or 5 software. It can be more in complex environment. And then we move forward. You've got the HMI computer that controls everything. You've got the OT gateway, which is our Vortex. A Vortex gateway can be this size, if you can see. This is, for example, my mouse in comparison. We have wireless, we've got non-wireless. basically the OT gateway acts as a bridge. Can be installed and deployed when an agent cannot be deployed. Can be deployed as one-to-many or as one-to-one. Now, the effect of this are extremely potent on the HMI computer, the controlling computer that give instruction to the OT or IoT devices, from cameras to hospital to water. Same concept goes. I scramble what I am familiar with. Once it passes the OT gateway, everything gets descrambled back. And the controller gets the information in precisely the port it expected to accept it, and everything works. Neither the controller, the PLC, or the computer who control it knows that something has changed. Then there is a malicious software that wants to give instruction to the PLC or protected IoT device. And it's not a program that we know. Even if it's called itself the same, uses the same codes, know the password, we will not scramble it. It will pass the gateway, get this scramble changes every second into a garbage port and will be discarded by the other side. But in the OT and IoT world, we need to take care of other types of attack. And that's why the Vortex is designed. Let's see what are these type of attacks are. The first one is a direct attack on protected devices. It can be a raw computer that is connected to your OT or IoT network that will start scanning your network, find the password. It can apply DDoS attack. It can apply what we call broadcast storm, or simply brute forcing the password of the protected devices, which are not basically protected from brute force attacks. Any such an attempt on a protected network with a Vortex gateway will simply fail because all the attempts will pass the gateway, all the scanning results, brute force attack, everything will always get this scramble changing every second into a different port source and destination and will reach nowhere. Every time that it will scan the network, it will get different results. So scanning, attacking, or trying to communicate directly once a gateway is deployed becomes futile for the aggressor. Please note that a computer such as this can come from one of your own devices. I've mentioned the Chinese chip attack. This can be the Chinese chip attack when the device is embedded on your controlling server or on one of your other controlling devices as part of your network. Going undetected, it's actually much more common than you think, especially in the OT environment. The next attack is what we call the supply chain attack. It's spread into a variety of attacks. When someone tries to protect the controller from an authorized device. In the OT and IoT, the gateway make a standard. Only allowed computer with allowed software can communicate with the protected devices. And each device, we can give a set of completely different devices that can be allowed to communicate with that protected device. So it's a double zero trust. So if you try to attempt to install an unlawful software, a malicious one, on the controlling computer, you will be able to install it, but it won't be able to communicate with the other side. It is called a supply chain attack because in air-gapped environment, such an attack happens when an engineer, for example, comes to fix or to update the software, the malicious software jumps with him. This is how it is usually done. It is the most feared attack and the one that is most detailed and addressed in all the regulation. It's called a supply chain attack. It can be a large chain, it can be a small chain, but this is what it is. It targets the computers that work with the PLC. Then came a more sophisticated attack, the one we already discussed in the IT, so it's easy to explain. Changing the list, something more sophisticated, trying to break the cyber defenses. It comes from programmers that know what they are doing. This type of attack will always come from countries or very highly sophisticated malicious organizations. If you target water facilities, for factories and such, it can be if they're connected to the internet, normal type of hackers. But when you target IoT devices, it's usually more sophisticated class of hacker, currently at least. And they will try to manipulate your own defenses. Trying to do so to Cyber 2.0, as we discussed in the IT, will simply fail because the chaos mechanism will scramble you in the wrong way and will block you completely and the entire infected device. Then in the OT attack, we have the same concept, but in a different way. We still map every program that goes into memory. But in the OT and IoT environment, the regulations are much more strict. And this database was designed in mind for the required regulation and to help you mitigate them. So in the OT environment, you've got a list of everything that was running on your controlling devices. Every time it was changed, and every malicious or unknown software that was tried to run, whether it is part of Windows, whether it is a game, whether it is legitimate or not, it will know it, it will mark it, and it will stay there forever from the moment Cyber 2.0 was installed. The gateway itself can be deployed as one-to-many, depending on your network infrastructure. It doesn't need any changes in your current network. It is a bridge. So we can deploy it as one-to-one or as one-to-many, depending how your network is structured, or a mix in between them. Usually, we try to minimize the use of vortexes, but for example, in water facilities, usually each facility gets its own vortex, unless all the pumps, for example, are in the same location. In factories, each cluster of machine gets its own vortex, and so on and so forth. We don't change the network. We don't need to change the network to deploy the vortex. It's a simple bridging. That concludes my demonstration. If you have any question, now is the time. Sneer, I move the mic to you.
Thank you very much, Erez. Right, so now it's time to open the mic and hear exactly what you have to say. We'll be happy to hear if you have any questions. Let's check if we have something in the chat, maybe. The chat is empty. Well, if we have anything you want to ask or to add, we'll be happy to help you or assist you or answer any other questions you might have. All right. Thank you so much. I would like just for the end for Erez to speak and about this one. Erez, do you want to speak about our cooperation with NIST and exactly what we are doing there? Erez, you're muted. Please reopen your mic.
You muted me, Sneer. I would love to speak about it. I will speak what I can and will share the information that I can. We have done a joint project with NIST, and NIST has approved Cyber 2.0 to be installed on water facility and wastewater facilities across the United States. It's on their website. You can see the list of allowed and recommended programs by NIST here. And currently, we are doing an even deeper project, which is a joint project with NIST and Mitra and us, but I can give you more detail about it. It's a very exciting project. They are actually giving us more testing so we can be deployed even in more high secured facilities, but I can give you more details about it. But we're very excited about this project.
All right. Thank you very much, Erez. I would like to thank everyone that came in. We had a lot of people coming in, going out. So thank you so much. If you want any more information, you're free to get in touch with us through our email, through our website, through our channels. If you want, this session was recorded, so we'll be happy to share it with you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for everything. Take care. God bless. Godspeed. Bye-bye.